This is that 1988 Mercury XR4 BlackMax 150 horse V6. Oil-injected 2-stroke with carbs. But yeah, that rectifier was smoking. You can see it's burnt up. I already let the customer know that before doing anything. But so this motor, I recently replaced the hydraulic system on it and stuff. The customer wanted me to run it for him. I told him I wanted to check the compression and spark and everything on it before trying to run it. The compression's good. It's about 120 psi in all 6 cylinders. Spark is good. Obviously this rectifier needs to be replaced. Gear oil is black, it needs to be replaced. But even to check the spark and compression, so he has a battery over here, battery over there. He told me it was slow cranking, and he had a jumper cable in there, so I used a jumper cable from one to another. It didn't work. That battery's a 650 marine cranking amp. I have my 1000 marine cranking amp battery hooked up to his battery with the jumper cables, and it's still slow cranking. So I disconnected his battery cables, hooked up my battery cables to my battery, and it's cranking over just fine. But that rectifier needs to be replaced. The gear oil needs to be replaced. The spark plugs, I can clean them off. They're decent. It's not a need to be done situation with that. It's not pissing water as good as it should be. I have to run it with must because this boat sits too low and I can't put my test tank under it. It stops right here, and so the motor won't go down all the way with that under it, so I'm running it with must. But yeah, that rectifier is smoking. Thermostats are starting to open up. You get a little bit of water, more water coming out. Oh, that might be good for a second there. Yeah, the more throttle I'm giving it, the more it's pissing. So most likely the water pump needs to be replaced too. So gear oil, I could do the spark plugs, but it's not needed. Rectifier for sure, and his battery cables needs to be replaced too. There's too much resistance in his system, not cranking over the motor like it should. Even with my battery jump to his battery, it's like I said, it's still not good enough to crank over the motor. So somewhere in his battery cable system, from here to the battery, there's too much resistance and it's not working like it should. So I don't know about that side. I don't know if he needs to replace the battery cables or there's something, corrosion or something going on. I don't know, but with my battery cables hooked up to it, it's working perfectly fine. Yeah, rectifier, water pump, gear oil, and maybe the spark plugs, but not 100% sure. And battery cables need to be situated.